Hi everyone, it's your friend Chris. Over the past few weeks, we've heard a lot about who Jesus is and what he's done, and we're going to keep hearing about him over the next few weeks as well. But I thought it would be good this week to take a moment to ask the question of who is Jesus? Is he real? Did he exist? When you and your friends think of Jesus, you may think of other people who have lots of stories told about them, whether they're superheroes or cartoon characters like Spider-Man or Batman or Homer Simpson. We know a lot about these characters because of the stories told about them. Does Jesus fit into the same category? Well, I want to say no, and so do most people. You see, while there are a lot of stories written about Jesus, Jesus was not a made-up superhero. He was actually a person in history. And so when we talk about the phrase, in the time of Jesus, we're talking about a long time ago. A really long time ago. In fact, 2,000 years ago was when Jesus lived and walked. Well, I'm not that old, and you're not that old, and your parents and your grandparents aren't that old. And so how do we even know he lived if no one is old enough to remember that far back? Well, fortunately, we have a lot of books and writing that tells us about Jesus. And when I say we have lots of books, I don't just mean the Bible. The Bible definitely does tell us about Jesus and reveals more about him than any other book that exists. But there are more than just the Bible. There are official government documents that talk about him. There are people who don't like him who talk about him. There are lots of people who do like him that talk about him. Isn't it nice that so many people who knew Jesus thought he was important enough to tell their friends about him, and so they wrote down what they knew of him? There is a lot of history, whole libraries worth showing us that Jesus, the person, he actually did live on this earth. And so if he did live, the next thing you need to ask yourself is whether you believe who he is, who he says he is. He says that he's the Son of God, the promised Saviour. So we're going to keep hearing a bit more about this over the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Thanks, friends, and see you next week!